Welcome to Will It Work? I'm Kevin. Today we're looking at the 3DS from Nintendo. This was the original 3DS that came out, when it was initially launched. Nintendo came out with a series of other units, the XL and the 2DS, which it's basically like the 2DS is the weirdest thing because it's just a DS, really. It's just that it has the hardware of the 3DS without the 3D part and all that, and it's sort of a locked screen. Although I have seen 2DSs where they flip closed too, so I'm not sure what's all with that. But today we're looking at 3DS, and my 3DS got a lot of use. And I don't, it is really dirty, and it has this Nyko power pack on the bottom, which is made out of that crazy plastic that turns to rubber goo after a while. So it's, but it's functional. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. And we can see, some of the game boxes for the 3DS. These are probably familiar to anybody watching within like the year 2021 anyway. I can't say if it's 3021. So we have like Spirit Camera, the hidden, it's like a ghost hunting thing, and Dream Trigger 3D. These are just what I had on hand. These two are augmented reality games, so like they're kind of difficult to show you because they use the camera a lot and you got to move around and look for things. So it's not something that's going to take too well to this kind of a format. But we will look at Dream Trigger just to see how the game works, etc. So like the DS, I'm going to shut off the light here. Okay. So like the DS before it, you have a screen on the bottom that's a touch screen, and the screen on the top which is 3D, but you're not going to be able to really see the 3D modes here because you're looking at it in a 2D window, and there's nothing I can much do about that. So let's close this. And get back to the home menu. Something about SD cards, I don't know. It wants me to update and I haven't. And let's go ahead and swap out Spirit Camera here. And we'll put in Dream Trigger. Never likes it when you do that. Never likes it when you just take it and throw it in. Reflections of my camera and me. Hi. Okay. Hey. Okay. So Dream Trigger. Yep, and there is a glare like that even when I look at it. It's like those reflections, even though these screens are backlit, the reflections are rough. So we'll turn the 3D all the way down so we don't get any weird kind of lines and such. Where's the stylus on this thing? I do like that these styluses are extendable. It's kind of nice for people with bigger hands like yours truly here. See if I can get this in focus. Please select the mode. Free play mode, yeah, whatever. I have no idea what I'm doing. Nope, that was it. That was the game. Alright, so anyway, we can see that this works, and there's not really too much to say about it otherwise. I'll probably be a little bit more expansive when we look at the 3DS XL. I might at some point purchase another 3DS. I actually have more than one 3DS XL. I do kind of want to get a 2DS maybe at some point. They're not particularly difficult to find or anything, but finding one that's new in box at a reasonable price is not always that easy. I guess most places didn't carry it for very long, etc. So it kind of, you know, went on its own way. But yeah, so 3DS it was a kind of cool. 3D was kind of a gimmick, though, right? Like, you know, it was neat that you didn't have to wear 3D glasses, and it was kind of like when 3D was being popular, you know, by the marketing of everything everywhere, 3D movies and, you know, Avatar and all that stuff. You know, people are, oh, 3D is the next big thing, and then it didn't really turn into the next big thing, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of went on its way. So, you know, along with that, you know, nothing really was taking advantage of the 3D very much, because there was a lot of gamers out there who, for whatever reason, didn't, you know, couldn't play 3D games, or didn't want to. But I mean, I think there were like a group of people out there, you know, that maybe had disabilities and couldn't see the 3D. And, you know, Nintendo and the developers didn't want to alienate them, which I think is good. And, you know, they wanted to make sure they could play all the games. So 3D was just like, you know, an effect that you could have on your games, but it didn't really offer any advantages. And it was mostly disadvantages, because it didn't really enhance your gameplay, right? So it didn't give you any bonuses or anything. It mostly, you know, the 3D might give you a headache or something and make you play worse. So I have the manuals for this in a different box. But anyway, yeah. So ultimately, you know, it had better performance than the DS. It, you know, it had better processor and all of that sort of stuff in it. And, you know, Nintendo continued to make a lot of games for it, and developers latched onto that extra hardware power and graphics, etc., which enabled it to, yeah, okay, and I was going to turn this light back on, which enabled it to be a little bit better in terms of, you know, what they were offering. And as they went to like the 3DS XL, they added like a thumbstick, etc., to give you the ability to do kind of like a first-person shooter thing. And not to say that there weren't them for 3DS, you know, they try to get those onto every platform. It's just that they're not easy to control with just one digital pad if you can't control the cameras very well. You know, N64 did it, you know, the camera buttons, GameCube did it. But anyway, without getting all nostalgic and stuff, Nintendo 3DS is a good system. Tons of software for it. It was a big success for Nintendo. They did really well with it, even though the 3D aspect of it was just a bit excessive and unnecessary. And, you know, you could see that because they released the 2DS later, which was, you know, removing a lot of the 3D hardware, because all the games basically just supported 2D versus 3D. Didn't matter. All right, well, thanks for watching, and I'll be here again with the next one shortly. Thanks.